Having a ranger-oriented guide is something that is oddly missing from my channel. As such, today I will dive deep into everything you can do as ranger versus Mortis. This video will cover all builds, how to play for your first Mortis kill, or for your Dragon Bones grind session, or even for a potential speedrun attempt. The general concept will be brought up earlier in the video, while the finer details will be left for later. While this video is mostly ranger focused, I believe you can learn some tactics if you don't main ranger class as well. With that aside, let's begin. The gameplay loop for solo ranger generally goes as follows. Get through the boring phase 1 and somewhat boring phase 2, then repeat the following. Take a hit, heal the taken damage back, and keep going until Mortis is defeated. In order to get through this, you need to have enough health to withstand one regular swipe attack, which should deal at most 3.5 million damage. Note that you don't need 3.5 million health in City, as using 2 legendary health buffs can close the gap if you're around the 3 million threshold. If you're playing solo, damage threshold isn't nearly as vital as learning the gameplay loop. As such, I will start by showcasing the lowest damage output build, which also happens to be the easiest one to use, which is the base precise shot build. You can copy that point for point, and if you're wondering why certain points are placed in certain places, you will find out as we go further. The general idea is that more damage will result in less gameplay loops in a given run. Damage only really matters when you're farming Dragon Bones with elixirs in group. As such, here's what you need to know in case you're going for a slow kill. First off, Mortis' main attack will cause your concentration to drain. Since both of your movement skills cost concentration, make sure to watch out for it running low. Use adrenaline if necessary to be able to dodge an attack. Don't try running away from it, as the attack range is insanely massive. Once Mortis drops below 66% health, he will spawn a one-time wave of small melee and ranged enemies. I recommend you do not leave your current position to go after them. Instead, use the pierce of your shots and some Ticket of Thorns armor breaks if necessary to take them out. While armor breaks do not work on the boss himself, you will benefit from full points in Trap and Ticket a lot when it comes to spawned minions. The real difficult part begins after his health drops below 33%. Then, you will be immediately met with a bunch of leaders that will threaten to cast shield areas in your way, making the fight harder. Here, you have to stop everything you are doing and deal with them. However, it's still not over. A new Skeleton Dragon will spawn in the bottom area, which will release Dragon Breath attacks and summon soul leaders that will also spawn shields. You can work around the souls by staying far up enough to not be seen by the Skeleton Dragon summons, but chances are you will still be in range to take a Dragon Breath hit every now and then from outside your field of vision. And there isn't much you can do about it other than always having enough health to withstand one such hit. By taking one hit when you can and dodging the rest, while also killing newly spawned mobs, you should be able to eventually win, preferably with 0 deaths. If you perform worse under pressure once your health drops too low, I suggest you learn how to manage the fight on Merciless before you dive into bloodshed solo runs. But with the bases covered, let's explore how things change as you move into higher damage builds. If you don't have neither one of the mythic sets, your only alternative to precise shot will have to be poison sweep. Or well, physical sweep to be more precise. Since Mortis has increased resistances compared to armor, having poison mastery on will hurt you instead of help you. Here's the preferred skill tree for this build. This build can outperform precise shot, but only on the condition you stay alive and keep your stacks. It comes with the downside that you have to leave Mortis unattended while dealing with ranged enemies, but the damage output is well worth it. It also comes with a slight cost of some of your health points, due to the build requiring Q10 shoulders and Q3 helmet to maximize your damage, both of which have okay but not amazing baselines. However, for an upside, you have a perfectly valid reason to use stronger essences. After all, this is the hardest boss you will encounter in the whole game on a daily basis. Additionally, each attack costs only 1 essence compared to Precise Shot's massive 4 essence cost, so you can end up not using nearly as many essences as you would with a typical Precise Shot build. If you have watched my Spellweaver Mortis build video, you will know that even the almighty 300% increased damage red essences do nothing compared to the red elemental essences. However, with the currently covered ranger builds, those are not that much stronger. Here's a reminder that elemental essences do damage based on the skill's initial damage, ignoring any buffs from traits. For example, while Precise Shot does 2 times 205% of your base damage to marked enemies, it will only do the 205% as elemental damage multiplied by the power of your essences. Similarly, while Dead Sweep can deal upwards of 960% skill damage per hit, the elemental essence bonus will only be based on the skill's base 200% damage. Ultimately, Sweep still comes out on top due to Sweep's 20% faster attack rate compared to Precise Shot. It should go without saying, but all spawns in the game get an absurd amount of damage increase with elemental essences. Regardless of whether you choose to play regular or elemental essences for your main attack, you should always make sure to switch to elemental essences to spawn your wolf to maximize your damage output. The real damage begins to kick in once mythic sets come into play. Or well, one specific mythic set. Black Warlord Regalia should be your go-to option for Mortis solo runs or elixir runs. While it has the downside of needing to stay in melee range, its damage capabilities more than make up for it. It is definitely nowhere near as powerful as Spellweavers and Dwarfs, but it still absolutely pummels the non-mythics, as well as the Ancestral Glory set, due to one possibly unplanned interaction, the Elemental Essences. Just like all the ranged attacks and Dead Sweep are weaker with Elemental Essences due to stacking or marking buffs, Deadly Blow is actually significantly stronger due to its very high base damage. The essences completely disregard the set's 400% damage decrease, making each attack effectively deal 590% normal damage and 605% times 3 worth of elemental damage. Add the fast attack rate of 5 attacks per second, and you can see that the elemental damage bonus leaves every other build in the dust. However, there is still a way to push the damage output even further. While the Ancestral Glory loses to Dragan 10 times out of 10 on an equal playing field, there is a 2-part set that can greatly help the long-range builds to compete. Of course, I'm talking about Mortis set. This set can make your damage skyrocket, however, this comes at the cost of reliability. Your max health will drop to a dangerous level while using it with full stacks, and you have plenty of opportunities to get defeated, not only at Mortis, but also on your way to Mortis. If you succeed to not die, your reward is the ability to obtain the fastest possible kill. Last video I managed to obtain a sub 2 minute skill, but something I didn't tell you is the amount of attempts this took. Even with the whole strategy down, this one imperfect run took me 28 attempts, and in those attempts, only 3 made it out with me not losing the Mortis stacks, but many failed at multiple different critical points due to either Mortis set being Mortis set, or the normal running and killing strategy being too demanding. But what if I told you that you can taunt Mortis and keep him in place without him ever moving or attacking you? The boss aggro in this game is mostly straightforward. An enemy sees player nearby, he attacks that player. An enemy takes the most damage from somewhere, attack the source. But something weird happens when you have a ranged attacker, a middle person, and a tank. What happens is, as long as the two nearest players or summons exist, the boss will usually ignore anything else. This is only really useful for Ranger, as you can bring your wolf to Mortis to tank and have your tree as the middleman to prevent Mortis from being attacked by anything further than the tree. The results are clear. You made Mortis permanently distracted by your wolf. Well, put an asterisk on that, as there are ways this taunt can break. First off, if neither you nor your ranged teammates have the jewel of encouragement from defeat the undefeatables, your wolf can never heal from the damage taken and will eventually, well, die. Second, you have to be very careful with your tree timing and deployment. In order for this to work, you need to have at least 4 max jewels of focus, but all 5 will give you a better window of opportunity to swap the trees. If you swap the trees while Mortis isn't in the middle of an attack, he will dash at you. If you target the tree further away from Mortis rather than closer, Mortis will dash at you. If you use Mortis set and the tree dies because of spawn monsters, Mortis will dash at you. There are many ways to go wrong, but with some attempts you will be able to use this re-aggro strategy with great success. You can use the same re-aggro technique with Dragon set as well to save yourself some dodging, but it will be a bit more difficult since it is much more likely for you to misplace the tree. Before I end this video, here's a lightning round on additional things you need to know about Mortis runs. If you have Blood Mage, Carabossa or Mega Chain pets from Defeat the Undefeatables, they are the strongest support for Mortis runs with the corresponding elemental essences. Herder is a good secondary pet to use if someone in the group is already using one of the previously mentioned 3. Do note that they do not work on any form that includes the Skelly Dragon. Your wolf does a lot of damage. You can help it do even more by having the attack speed buff stacked, another wolf summoned, and with the damage bonus of the amplified healing jewel. The rest of this video is me combining all of the tips I gave you to manage a new personal best by ironing out some of the mistakes I made last time. Thank you for watching this far, and see you later.